about Imran Khan, the former cricket star turned prime minister at the center of a political storm in Pakistan. He was kicked out of office last year, is now facing more than 100 legal yes, and was briefly arrested in May. It led to huge protests and violence. He's the victim of a conspiracy to force him out of politics for good. What is happening right now is not because of me. People in Pakistan are really divided over Imran Khan. His supporters see him as the only hope for their country. Iran has basically become a prophet of change, while his opponents accuse him of spreading lies and fueling a toxic style of politics. This became a two-way fight of rhetoric, of like good versus evil. So who is Imran Khan? Why is he so divisive, and is politics in Pakistan in such chaos right now? First off, let's run through Imran Khan's backstory. He was born into an upper-class family in Lahore and went to an elite high school. He studied at Oxford University in England, but it was his cricketing career that made him into a superstar. For in 1992, he led Pakistan to his first and only World Cup victory and then retired from the sport. It is easily the greatest Pakistani cricketer of all time, a very glamorous cricketer too. That glamour, of course, brought him to the attention of
high society in London in the early 90s. He was hanging out with rock stars and royalty and married a British aristocrat. But he was also getting into charity work and raised money to open a cancer hospital in Lahore in memory of his late mother. Here's a cricketer, a public icon trying to provide free cancer care in a country where this was not accessible for most people. And that then translated into a conversation he had about, the role of corruption, improving governance. And then his entry into politics in 1996, Imran Khan launched his Khan's political beginnings, own political party Pakistan Tehreek-e, which means movement for justice. He styled himself as an outsider on an anti-corruption mission, but his political career didn't really take off until 2011. That's when he held 2 rallies in Lahore and Karachi. Tens of thousands of people showed up. He was promising to bring a new kind of politics to Pakistan, and 7 years later that message helped him get elected as prime minister. Inshallah, Pakistan's political history. Now, until Khan came on the scene, the politics was dominated by 2 parties and two families. The Bhutto family, which is Bhutto family, which is linked to the PPP, and the Sharif family linked to the PMLN. That's the party of the current Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif. For years, the 2 sides have been alternating in power, a pattern that Khan was determined to break to demolish what he called the grip of dynastic politics in Pakistan. He's very popular among young Pakistanis who do not see the old guard as being representative of their ambitions and aspirations. He's also popular among middle and upper middle and elite classes. They are of the view that Pakistan have been harmed by the politically corrupt elite for the too long, and Imran is our hope. Now there's Khan and the military, another layer in Pakistan's politics that you need to know about, and that's the military. Since Pakistan's independence in 1947, there have been several military coups, and generals have ruled directly for 33 years in total. But when there's been a civilian government, the military still plays a big role behind the scenes, strong, influential in meddling them going on, that no government in Pakistan really gets spawned without their involvement. And it seems that was also the case for Imran Khan, that the military was pretty influential in his rise to power. This is something which is acknowledged by the military leadership of that time, people who have subsequently came out after the retirement, and acknowledged and confessed that, yes, we have helped Iran win, and Khan actually sold himself as a candidate who could work with the military. They were seen as being on the same page, the constant struggle and tension between civil and military, something that people expected would end with harm coming into power. But it didn't. Here's what happened Khan's time in office. So it's 2018 and Imran Khan's just been elected prime minister. It was actually a pretty contentious election, and his political opponents accused him of fraud, but Khan was popular, and for a lot of people it felt like a fresh start. Remember, his big thing was tackling corruption, something he said was at the root of most of Pakistan's problems, so he went on a massive anti-corruption drive. Many politicians and government officials were arrested. Khan's supporters approved, but his critics said it was one-sided, and that he was only targeting his political opponents, though Khan denies that. Another criticism was that Khan's approach created a kind of vindictive and divisive political atmosphere, and he made compromise a bad word. You were all in with Khan, or you were anti-Khan for whatever reason. That was the conversation Khan brought with him, an extremely divisive and, some would say, hateful style of of politics, much of that reflected in the language that he used, haranguing his opponents and accusing them of being thieves and crops. Now, the economy was a big issue when Han was prime minister. He inherited a lot of problems, including a major debt crisis, and he had to deal with COVID, too. But the bottom line was that living conditions for most Pakistanis didn't improve under Han. Inflation soared, and the value of the currency fell as the economic stress mounted. People sort of began questioning, what this hope and change mantra was all. Arrested in connection with one of the cases, anger against the arrest of Imran Khan has turned into violent confrontations. A few gas shells have been fired at this crowd blocking the main highway towards Islamabad. These are the protesters, and not in the distance is the police line, and since that violence, thousands of people linked to Han's party have been detained, including senior leaders, an absolutely massive crackdown. Undeniably, the state has really come down hard on Imran and his party banner. The government is using similar tactics that he tried to use against them, and has taken things to the next level to his supporters. Imran Khan is Pakistan's political future, the ultimate political victim, and everything that's happened in the last year or so has actually boosted his popularity. By all accounts, Imran Khan today is Pakistan's most popular politician. I think there is agreement that if elections were to be held tomorrow, he would win. So Imran Khan is as popular as he's ever been, and disillusionment with the current government as Shehbaz Sharif probably has something to do with that. There's a full-blown economic crisis. Pakistan is running out of foreign currency and could soon default on its debts if it can't secure more loans, and millions of people are still dealing with the aftermath of last year's floods that left a third of the country underwater. So while this brutal political fight is going on, there are so many other urgent problems stacking up. 4 million people just over a few months have fallen below the poverty line, and I don't think any segment of elite society politically or institutionally in Pakistan, and that includes the military, has an answer to solving these problems. And that's the real tragedy here, complete chaos happening. And it's easy to blame Imran Khan foreign military for it, or this class or that class. And all of these allegations have particular, partial merits. But ultimately the people who are suffering are the people of Pakistan, the country as a whole.